All right, Chair Way, I believe we are ready to get started.
All right, thank you, Dustin. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming. Great to see you. And we're gonna kick off this meeting. So, all right. Public comment. Do we have any public comment, Dustin?
We do not have any public comment. Is there anybody online that would like to share public comment or anybody in person?
Apparently not. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming. And we look forward to a great meeting, starting off with the housing grant program updates. Do we have our speakers, Dustin?
Yes, our speakers are online. Amaris, if I pronounced it correct? I believe you are online, if you and your team, and maybe we have one colleague in the room as well. Anyone?
Yes, good morning. It's Maurice. Maurice Cruz
Maurice, thank you.
Jasper. Good morning, everybody. I have with me this morning, I have Ashlyn Stevenson, our housing grant navigator. I also have with me Casey Songster, our senior housing grant specialist. Ashlyn will be walking us through a brief presentation on some upcoming pending changes with the program and some upcoming pending administrative regulation changes that are also upcoming with the program. So I'll leave her with that. I'm not sure if I sent the PowerPoint presentation. If not, I will share it. Or Ashlyn, did you want me to share it while you presented?
Yes, that's perfectly fine. Yes.
Okay, I will share my screen as she presents. Apologize for not sending it in advance.
That's not a problem at all. And if you don't mind, we'll share it afterwards as well when we send out materials.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Ashlyn Stevenson. I am the housing navigator for the housing grants program. And we just want to share with you the new updates and with the administrative regulations and new implementation guidelines. All right, so for our agenda, it'll just be an overview of FY27 board guidance, housing grant waitlist protocols, like I said, update on administrative regulations, the new housing grant portal, and our communications plan. Slide. All right, so I just want to go over who is eligible for the housing grant program. We have working families with minor children, anyone ages 65 or older, or totally or permanently disabled, and currently participating in county-supported behavioral health clients, and also the youth pilot program, which are ages 18 to 24, or participants who are aging out of foster care. Most clients, they contribute approximately 40% of their income. And for eligibility, we have a maximum income level and asset levels to apply. And they also had the opportunity to work with private landlords as well. Next slide. So for FY27, the county manager proposed budget included implementation of a new cap for the spending for the housing grants program. So the adopted budget delays implementations of the cap upon completion of the waitlist technology system, which will be implemented in October of 2026. So any housing grant application process will be streamed as electronic moving forward. Next slide. So this slide just gives an overview of the FY 2027 budget. Our current housing grant budget is $17.7 million, which includes about 8,300 increase of the maximum allowable rents. And we also received a one-time supplement of 1.3 million added to the budget to fund households, which the cap will be implemented in October 1st of 2026. And this slide just shows our current population that participates in the housing grant program, which is the totally and permanently disabled, seniors, which is 65 and older, working families, and the youth pilot program. Next slide. All right, so for the housing grant waiting list and priority populations, in order to remain, within the budget, applicants will be required to meet the priority requirements, which is categorical income and resource requirements that follow. The waitlist registry, from time to time, due to the budget restraints, they are now necessary. So therefore, the waitlist will be generated in October. And the reopening of the new housing program waitlist, like I said, will be open in October. So next slide. So this slide just represents how the waitlist will be generated. So we will have approximately 500 people on the wait list. And there will be a random lottery completed, and then we will hold 500 people on that wait list based on the budget. That's when people will be pulled off the wait list based on the budget. Next slide. So this is just an outline of how the wait list once is it'll be open for 14 days, 14 calendar days. And then anybody who needs a reasonable accommodation or hardship, those resources will be available throughout those 14 days for people to apply. But everything is going to be online through the portal. So we will have a preliminary application online with the waitlist portal, and we have an estimate of approximately 15,000 people that may apply. So once the waitlist is closed, the lottery will be generated. And then once a person is approved for the wait list, they will be contacted via mail or through the portal. And then for people who are not selected, they will also receive correspondence as well through the portal if they are not selected. All right, next slide. Okay, so pending regulation changes. So as of now, for grant terminations, if a household no longer meets eligibility requirements, or if they fail to provide or complete their case review or recertifications, or if they fail to apply for the recertification, then they will be subject to being terminated from the program. As far as new regulations, if they fail to meet their eligibility status, they will be granted 60 calendar days hardship to regain that eligibility, with a possibility of an additional 30-day extension to be reestablished in the program. Extension requests must have documentation in order for them to be rewarded that additional extension. All right, next slide. So the things that are being removed for disability participants who are operating under any Arlington County programs such as mental health, behavioral health, or intellectual disability services or substance abuse services, they must be deemed disabled. So, and also the youth aging foster care youth pilot program, that will also be removed due to the new admin regs. As well as the recertifications, participants will be receiving their recertification documents 90 calendar days in advance prior to when they need to complete their recertification. All right, and then the housing grant portal, which is coming soon, you know, to make it easier on the clients. They will be able to complete their recertification documents in the resident portal, as well as income updates as well. So me as the navigator, I will be conducting outreach to educate, you know, current applicants and new upcoming participants about how the portal will work. Next slide. All right, so this is just an overview of the communications plan or our project plan of what we're currently working on now. Soon we will be reaching out to our senior properties in order to give out more further information on the housing grant updates and the resident services coordinators as well. So that way they can help the seniors out with their recertifications and also applications if they need to apply. So this is just an overview of what we will be doing in the upcoming months. So if anyone have any questions, you can reach out to myself or Ms. Cruz Jasper, which is my supervisor.
Okay, great. We do have a couple of questions, so if you have time, would you care to take them?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. I saw Audrey and then Kasha. Anyone else? Okay, Audrey, go ahead, please.
For older adults, a lot of them are not computer savvy, may not have computers, may not have smartphones. If they call the ADRC, will they register them online or what should they do?
Yes, they can help them register online, or if they need to fill out, as far as the portal, we can assist them with registering online, but if they need to fill out a paper application, if they are a new applicant, we can assist them with that as well.
And will you let them know that in the communications?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, next question.
Good morning. So between now and October is just, you're following the current guidelines for housing grant applications?
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And come October, those individuals that have applied between now and then will have to recertify with the new eligibility?
Between now and October, well, I mean, everybody who is on currently will remain on. Effective September 30th will be the last day we will take new applications. For the recertifications, that's what we're doing with the recertifications is what we used to do is send them 30 days in advance. But what we're doing now, effective June, is we're sending them out 90 days in advance. And we're doing this so that we can assist the current applicants in maintaining their eligibility. You know, going into the wait list, what we want to make sure is that the client's cases do not close. So we're sending out the recertifications 90 days in advance to give them enough time to be able to compile their documents, send in the verifications that they need in order for their cases to remain open. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes and no. Can I ask another question? just to follow up. So for example, if you have an individual that is connected to behavioral health services, but is not deemed disabled right now, technically they qualify for housing grant, but come October, they'll no longer meet that eligibility. So how is that going to be handled?
For those individuals, they would have to either be receiving Social Security disability or SSI benefits.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have one more hand up. Erica, you're online.
Yes, I saw in the slides that you mentioned volunteers and volunteer training. Could you talk a little bit about volunteers?
So what we will be doing is we will be reaching out to library services and our communications manager here at DHS will be sending out email blasts as well as notifications through some newsletters asking for volunteers for our open enrollment period. So from I believe it's October 5th through the 19th. Don't quote me on those dates yet because they haven't been solidified. We will have a 2-week open enrollment period where we will be having volunteers at the libraries, at community centers, at COA. We'll have different areas where we'll have volunteers assisting in helping the participants apply for the wait list. So once that comes out, it'll be through email, through it'll be on all DHS platforms. So more information to that about that will be coming out as we get the schedule out, as we get the volunteers up.
Okay, we also have one more question. Wendy.
Yeah, I'm new to the program, so my apologies for a basic question.
No problem.
Someone who's currently got a grant is in
Yes.
senior housing. They have to apply for recertification, and you're going to give them 90 days notice of what they need to do to get that recertification process. Will the resident services coordinators in those buildings affirmatively reach out to the people who are on grant programs personally, one-on-one, to make sure they know they've got to go through this process? And that's just on the basis of, people get email, they don't read their email, they don't know how to use it, they don't know how important something is because, maybe it's a long email and on the bottom it says, you have to do this by such and such a date, but they don't get there. So will the resident services coordinators take an active, personal one-on-one role with people who have current grants to help them on recertification?
Well, the recertifications, they do go out in the mail. And I do know that this upcoming month, we will have Ashlyn and Casey going out personally to, which locations are you guys going out to?
The Carlin, Culpeper Gardens, and there's
Hunters
one
Park.
more. Hunters Park, yes.
We're meeting with all 3 of those communities, and they have scheduled time where we'll be meeting with the resident services and the community at large. We're going to go during their coffee hour or their lunch, their luncheons. We're making a presentation so that we can highlight all of these important things to them. So hopefully the message will be received and the resident services coordinators will be able to assist all of the seniors to stay on the program.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for the presentation. I think those are all the questions and I'm sorry?
Kathy has.
Okay, Kathy, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you. So I think this is a quick question, and I might have missed it in the presentation, but I was unclear about the amount of the housing assistant grants that individuals receive.
They were in place overnight and they're still.
What is it based on? Or is it a set amount?
It's not a set amount. It's income and asset based.
Okay.
So the applicants or the participants, they pay approximately 40% of their income towards the rent. So
Okay.
it's not a set amount. It's based on their income and assets.
Their income, and then this picks up the rest. Okay.
Right.
Income, rent, and household size are the 3 factors that determine how much a grant will be.
Okay. Thank you.
William, this is Claire. I have a
All right.
question.
Anyone else? Oh, Claire, go ahead, please.
Real quick question to the presenter. I know you mentioned the 3 communities I well know, Carlin, Hunters Park, and Culpeper. What about Fisher, the Fisher House on Washington Boulevard in the, I guess it's considered the Westover neighborhood? Does the Fisher House, is the Fisher House eligible for that program?
So Fisher House is, but that's mixed, mixed residents. I think that has a lot of our clients there. We have elderly people, disabled, and we have families there. So all of these landlord partners that we work with will be included in these communications. But we especially want to get out to the senior communities.
Yes, because I'm aware of a of a resident, a woman who is moving to the Fisher House very, very soon. She's coming out of an assisted living community, and her case manager or social worker is helping her because she's better. She doesn't really need the full assistance of an ALF. So she is moving soon to the Fisher House. So will she also, as a new resident, so to speak, she'll also be incorporated in this outreach?
She should apply before September 30th, before the regular avenue of housing grant closes.
Yeah.
Is that going to be possible for her to do that before September 30th?
That I would like to think so. I will see her at at that particular assisted living community in the next few days, and I will urge her, if she hasn't moved yet, to work with her. She has a county, I guess it's a case manager or social worker, so I would imagine that the social worker is also aware of that. But I will urge that person to talk to the case manager about this and get it done by the end of September. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Claire. Do we have anyone else? Not in the room? Yes, Carol.
I just
Oh,
have,
don't cut it off. Carol.
I just have a quick question. The people who will no longer be eligible, have they already been notified that they will not be eligible in the next cycle?
Which specific people? I mean, is there?
You had a slide that said because of the changes, there were certain groups that were not going to be eligible for the housing grant. And then you mentioned in response to another question that they would have to be on SSI or Social Security, people getting mental health. So have they already been notified that they will no longer be eligible for the grants?
Those changes are still pending. The signature of the county manager, the regulations still haven't been signed. But yes, it's very, very small amount of individuals who will no longer be on. So yes, and they have been, yes.
Thank you.
All right.
One more question.
Yes, Peggy has a question.
Will there be options for those individuals? Will the program have any options to help them out as far as their not being eligible now for this grant, so they will not have to move?
The individuals who currently will no longer qualify. We haven't gotten, like I said, we haven't gotten the regulations signed yet, but there'll be a clause per se in the regulations that will give them sufficient time to apply because they are disabled. So it will give them sufficient time for them to apply for either Social Security or SSI before they are removed from the program.
And they will have access to an individual to help them complete these applications?
Yes.
Because they're not easy.
Yes. Yes. All of that has been taken into consideration.
Thank you.
We have one more question.
So I have a follow-on question to Peggy's. So in order for them to remain on the housing grant, as long as they have applied for SSI, SSDI, they would meet that qualification, or they have to be approved?
They have to be approved.
So that takes months.
Yeah, they'll be given sufficient time.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Thank you all so much for your presentation.
No problem. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Next item on our agenda. I see we have Tanya here, so appreciate it. How are you, Tanya?
I'd like to introduce you all my daughter,
my daughter-in-law. She's still my daughter.
And Vice Chair of the
And Vice
Transportation.
Chair of the Transportation, and Tanya Wendy's on your left and behind you. That's Joan.
Yes, so the whole committee's here.
The whole
Appreciate it.
committee.
So you guys are here to present on
Right, buddies program.
providing updates on the Right Buddies program. So let's go ahead and do that.
We'll go with this one, yeah.
What's that?
I went with what's on my left. That's okay.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
fine.
yeah. Tom, you go first.
Can you make the slides bigger?
Yep, I agree.
Thank you. Tanya, please, go ahead.
All right, my name is Tanya Graham. I'm co-chair with Peggy, of the Transportation Committee, on the commission. I started maybe almost a year.
Yeah, about a year ago.
So, been a short time, but I enjoyed this time. And so we, every year, tasked with our goals and objectives. And going through our goals, we came up with, this program called Ride Buddies. Next slide.
Yes.
And so our goals this year was two goals. One around accessibility and equity. And these goals come from, as you know, there's Peggy, previously to me coming. They went out and they did several surveys and also interviews at the different locations. And also too, with the conference that was held this past winter, early spring. We had two goals. So with the accessibility and equity, the objective is focus on the needs of older adults, strengthen digital confidence and independence. And we wanted to make sure, we kept hearing the same thing kind of over and over again. And so we thought something around programming would actually help us to actually get past what we keep hearing over and over again. And then the other piece is around safety. Objective 2.2, which includes signs, signals, sidewalks, and social safety cafes, and older adult residencies. And we've heard through several of our reports that our focus has been really on the sidewalks, the condition of the sidewalks. But we did integrate with Ride Buddies, a component around that will allow volunteers to help us in reporting conditions on sidewalks. Next slide, please. Okay, so what is our proposed program? So it is a phased volunteer supported program that we envision helping older adults build transportation confidence, moving from kind of these group trainings at the social 60 cafes to the actual companion practice rides on our and metro buses. And again, through the various surveys, and through the interviews and through the conference, we keep seeing the same recurring theme around our seniors still facing barriers related to digital literacy. So their ability to use the apps, the ability to understand when the buses their rides are coming, and even the ability just to try to just navigate there. And then uncertainty around what options are best for them. And then again, our goal is around confidence, right? We want people to not ever have to wait after an appointment for hours for a ride, for it to come 2 hours, 3 hours later, or not to come at all in some instances. And then we also, again, we want that digital coaching, and we want people to actually to start to use transportation. There's a fear around transportation, and some people just don't use it. And we've heard from the interviewees that we've had. I think I was in one of the breakout groups, and just to get to the grocery store, right, is a challenge. We know that sometimes Uber and Lyft, due to the shortness of the rides, they will not take those calls. Let's say those rides necessarily. So we wanted to create a confidence people can actually get on the bus and be more self-sufficient in this capacity. This program is for older adults. And again, we're going to be using the social 60 cafes. We do want to get to the libraries. We will be working with the civic associations, and then also going back to the housing. Our volunteers right now, we work with ART to get them on the Volunteer Arlington platform. And so the Volunteer Arlington platform allows us to reach all Arlingtonians, but also really to pinpoint to Arlington County employees who want to help and participate in this program. So ART felt that they can get a lot of their folks on the ART staff to actually volunteer. Awesome. By putting it on volunteer. So it's live. We want you all to actually review it. So we'll send the link so everyone can review it and give us feedback on the actual description. on what's needed, but it is live. And then again, we are looking for volunteers from the commission, volunteers in the civic association and students. When we first started this, we did want students, so to help out. So WNL actually has a transportation kind of club. The challenge with students though, they graduate and then there's no one there for the club. Well, you got it. So we still want to be able to have the adults for the county and our commission to participate, but then so we can actually start training students across Arlington to participate too. Next slide, please. So this is a phased approach. So phase one, the purpose around phase one is really to build confidence around the baseline of ridership, what these programs are, how do I get a smart trip card, how do I fill out the application, what are all my options, and what do they mean to me? So we want folks to be proficient. Again, our goal for outcome is participants to gain baseline transit knowledge and confidence. And survey results directly inform the scale, locations, and launch sequence for phase two. We are looking to inform a mini survey within phase one to say, hey, what worked, what didn't work well, so that when they go into phase two, we can take those into considerations around writing and things like that. So the live skills. So we are partnering with ART, and they've agreed that we will get to the cafe, Social 60 cafes, and we will do trainings every month with live participants, the staff there every month. And the staff will help them with fare purchases, smart trip card, because we have agreed our last meeting with them about 3 weeks ago that the commuter buses will be coming to those locations. So we're working to actively get the commuter buses at the Social 60 Cafe. So that was one of the feedback of someone trying to get things like Boston or Crystal City versus being at locations where the participants actually are. And so we will have we're working right now on an actual training curriculum with ART based on what ART has in their marketing department and what their staff knows around actual trip planning. So people will actually get to plan a trip during these trainings. They'll get to enroll if they want to, so that they will actually be ready for phase two, which is the actual ride along. Next slide. So this is those moving from a classroom style, like we said, confidence building, which is our real goal, confidence, to real-time volunteer company practice on the ART system. So we're saying ART for now, but we are looking to move to the Metro system too. And so a company practice ride. So our volunteers will be trained ahead of time. We'll have volunteer orientation. They'll orient into the program. They will also be trained on the best practices of riding the bus, best practices for, helping them get on the bus, smart trip, they have to renew or have to add money to their cars, all those good things. And again, we are using ART volunteers as the main test because again, they are proficient, and then we'll do trainers. And then again, we're looking to have a community pool. So Independence of Arlington, Independence Center of Northern Virginia, we said future because we've talked to them. They received a grant, right? And they do this, but they're a one-person show. And they do this for those with disabilities. And they actually have a person who takes them along and they ride. But we asked the coordinator is their trainer. So he's agreed to do a trainer for us. They have grant funding, and that will be available probably around the fall timeframe. But we'll be able to do a trainer based on helping those with disabilities to be able to be fluid and ride the buses too. So those are something that we'll get on to you all, making sure that we can have that training piece too. Next one. So our goals is our proposed goals and metrics right now is we would like to get around 40 to 60 seniors engaged. So to start and to go through both phase one and phase two. We want county-wide volunteer cadre, so we want not just the ART, but we want folks to hear our commission trained to be participants and community-wide with our civic associations and our students, as we mentioned. And again, accompanying rides, we're saying 40 to 60, but it'd be great if we could have a solid 50 folks doing accompanied rides. in phase two. And then we're saying 25 plus, but having that new smart trip activation, that means we have new people saying that, hey, I want to actually participate in this program. I'm transitioning from being like Peggy, who is does not take public transportation, right? But they've activated their smart trip so they now can participate in public transportation. We do have KPIs around how many volunteers that we recruited, trained. And we also want volunteers, as we mentioned previously, we want them to be able to go and see sidewalk conditions. So we'll train them and look at sidewalk conditions and to report on what they're seeing at those bus stops and things like that. We'll have KPIs, which are key performance indicators, around, again, the amount of seniors enrolled, if we have what I've already spoken about, how many training sessions we actually deliver and the feedback from those training sessions, the accompany ride completed, again, smart trip card obtained, and then we will do something around confidence, right? The increased self-reported confidence, the ability to independently plan a trip. So we will, again, during the phase one, they will actually have to plan a trip. And we will look at that and gauge the ability from, we call it a level 2 assessment. So once you go through training, it comes out pre and post test, how well did that training hit? And so I think one of our level 2s will be their ability to actually plan a trip. And then senior satisfaction rate, again, volunteer retention across all channels. We want to make sure we have a steady stream of volunteers. So we want to make sure that we're taking how they feel in consideration, and then actual completion of these scheduled rides, right? So we have people coming, but how do they feel completing the ride? Was it smooth they thought it would be? And are they actually completing? Are they actually, even though they gone through phase one, are they actually going to go through phase two to complete the actual ride? Next slide. And then these are some of our program partners that we're envisioning having. We have made contact with the majority, but we are actively reaching out to the HRC and the Shepherd Center and the library. So civic associations, we've reached out just with sidewalk pieces for those and be integrating them into the ride voting pieces for the civic associations. And so that's, next slide will show what I think the next slide is.
And Tanya, you have actually A and B's here. That's Wendy right there. And then we can let me know when you're ready for the ADRC. We'll make that connection. We have Tanya Young with on the supervisor there. So we can make this connection. She'll be working directly with her. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
And I just wanted to link back to what we had from the Inform back, the engagement forum, just to show what the forum theme. Some of the things that we saw, active participant feedback from what Destin presented in the after action, and then what we consider our quote unquote response with ride buddies, meaning how does ride buddies satisfy those needs. Next slide, please. And this is our next step. So this summer, in early fall, we are spending, like we said, getting to the libraries, getting to the civic associations, working with art intensively around them having a program that's repeatable. So one of our biggest things is a repeatable process. If I'm going to Peggy on, this is a repeatable process. It's a program that will be a standing program that someone can take and can continue on. And so that's our biggest thing this summer, getting us also so our employees, the staff that we're working with, Krista and they started actually going to the cafes to see how they run themselves and what the cafes are actually about, so they can get a better understanding of what happens there. So that when they send staff, the staff has a pretty good guide with that. Training development, again, we will have with arts, training and development for the volunteers, but in the fall, we're looking to work with independents to have another step around those with disabilities. And then community store coordination. So folks are retiring and moving on with life outside. So it's been a gap with the community store because our person retired, but we do have a new POC with art. And so we are working right now to get the new schedule out and launch having the buses at the Social 60 cafes. And then again, we're looking at September in September to launch all the first set of cafe trainings, followed by phase two of company rides. So there'll be probably a small gap between the phase two, just for us to assess phase one, how did everything go, and do people actually feel comfortable going to phase two. And that's good.
All right, thank you.
I think there was, you all did ask for a brief on microtransit. We're not just, you're just getting into microtransit. We did have a meeting, with the team because, there was great feedback from Langston Brown around the microtransit program and folks wanted more. And so the POC Paul, has agreed that, he does not mind going to provide more information at the location where they currently are with microtransit. And then we did write a letter asking that we thought was logical during the pilot to open up will be Love and Run. There's been a lot of requests for Love and Run. And so we did write, and he said they are taking into consideration, they think they can open Love and Run. And so we're over the pilot up to Love and Run. So Love and Run is currently not in the pilot. And so we're just waiting for feedback of when they will actually open and put Love and Run into the pilot. I think some of the things that I think immediately that we're proposing around engagement, like I said, the rubber run inclusion, but with Langston Brown, since they're pretty active, kind of have a usage survey, a small survey to gauge how things are working, what could be different, what could be better. And then door-to-door feasibility for seniors. I've actually downloaded the app. You can't necessarily get door-to-door service, right? So if you have sidewalk conditions or you have difficulty getting, you have to get to a location because the map will tell you that, sorry, we can't pick you up. So if you call though, they'll ask you, why can't you get to your location? And they'll say, are you senior with disability? And then they can't send someone. So I think clarification around those things in this pilot phase, the pilot will be definitely beneficial. And that's how we intend to engage right now. That's it.
All right, thank you, Tanya and Peggy. Do we have any questions?
I do. This is Claire.
Yes, Wendy.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
I think starting at the cafes is a great idea because you've got an on-demand audience right there. Good idea. Who's going to run the program? Who's going to recruit the volunteers? Vet them, organize them, train them? Is it an art
and commission? So we will do both. So I try to.
I'm sitting here because I'm just meeting you for the first time. So
Yeah.
you're art.
No, I'm on Tanya.
I know you're Tanya and I know you're related. So who's the art person?
Oh, art is Carissa and Clinton. She is the deputy director for art.
So she's committing her office to vet the volunteers, organize them, tell them where to go. Come to work with us.
Yeah, that was some of the holdup, right? The program, right? And so they had to see, do we have actually capacity to actually do this program? They came back and said it's something, and it actually aligns with their goals and objectives, right? And when it comes to ridership.
So if you all remember, we had at the community engagement forum, art was front and center there, right? So they further developed that relationship with the chief and forward. So I mean, just a wonderful job. Thank you.
All right.
Any
other questions? Yes, Kasha.
Quick question. So for those volunteers that are accompanying seniors, are their metro fees waived or do they have to pay for that?
We asked that question. That's a great question. So I think art is looking into that to see how, because I think they've done with students where they get like our students get like a card where it's on the fee. There's always waived. And so they're looking into that for volunteers. So it would make sense for them to have to pay.
Right.
And most of them would get discounts there anyways, right? To have those there. So they're looking into being able to give something to give students to volunteers.
Okay. Who else?
William, this is.
All right, anyone online?
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
Tanya, I'm on the phone, so I don't get that's a choice. I don't get the benefit of all the slides and ongoing discussion, but I know you touched on civic associations. And I live in Line Village for what it's worth. So Line Village is my civic association. What is the plan? How do you plan to, or is this further down the road? How do you plan to engage civic associations? Is it simply finding seniors who might benefit from Ride Buddy, or would it be finding volunteers in civic association?
And so I think our goal is to actually reach out to them, tell them about the program and how they actually can participate. And if they want to invite us out to actually come and do a presentation at one of their meetings, we can actually do that. But we want to be able, of course, trying to tailor for each should be hard, but we do want to give them very specific information about the program and a call to action for them, how they can actually participate, and their community can participate in the programs.
Who should they contact?
So they'll be able to contact us, but there's also on Volunteer Arlington, we do have the actual link for them to actually sign up to volunteer.
I mean, for the Civic Association, to invite a speaker.
Oh, so we will have our contact information on there from the commission, so Peggy, myself.
So further.
You said we have a follow-up.
Civic Association.
Follow-up from Claire. Claire, go ahead.
Further to, I think Charlie just spoke, but yes, in the case of the Lion Village, actually here it's called Citizens Association for what it's worth. But does your team, I'll just call it your team, you, Peggy, and the rest of the team, will you be then contacting the Lion Village Association, or should I email them a heads up to?
Why don't you just
I know
reach
some
out to
of the
Peggy?
officers.
Hey, Claire, why don't you reach out to Peggy and Tanya offline?
Separately. Okay. All right. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, William. Thank you. I will.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yes, a lot of interest. Any other questions or comments? So yeah, I mean, a lot of benefits, obviously the transportation part, but I think also isolation and engagement. You know, you get older adults who want to volunteer, or you go out and talk to them at Civic Association. So thank you both for doing that. And I wish I was around longer to see it go further. Next, we have approval of the meeting minutes. And I hope everyone had a chance to look at it. I will move to have them approved. Do I have a second? Michael, yes, on his last meeting, I recognize Mr. Bouchard, Commissioner Bouchard.
So I noted your couple slight changes that will be added.
Oh, okay, great. And great job again by Claudia. So, any objections to approval of the minutes? Seeing none, they're approved. All right, next is staff reports. Dustin.
Yes. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for those presentations. Just as a reminder, Carol, I saw you taking photos. We will make sure that those PowerPoint slides are sent out as part of the meeting follow-up, as well as for the housing assistance program. So we'll make sure those get out. I have a few different updates. I wanted to just start off. We had our V4A, so those are the area agencies on aging for the state of Virginia. So one of the neat things that DARS, so our Virginia state funders, essentially, they are hosting a series of AAA governing bodies training. And so I've shared that out, I think, in the two announcements for this meeting. So all commissioners are invited. They look at things like governance, setting up different policies, advocacy, legislative, all those different things. So just all included in the follow-up for today's meeting as well. It's a really neat effort on their part. I think they're partnering with Leading Age to provide those skills to governing bodies, which for Arlington is the Commission on Aging. And for a lot of the other AAAs, it's their board of directors or the board of directors. I'm going to jump down actually. And so what also came from that meeting were some federal and policy updates. So the the FY 28 budget, we're already in the 27th. So the president's proposed budget included some reductions to several older adults or aging related service programs. However, the congressional response or the congressional appropriations have largely maintained current funding levels. So right now what's proposed is very minor changes. So that's good. That's a great thing, with a few modest increases actually in nutrition related services. So it's good that they've recognized that raw food costs keep going up. Older Americans Act reauthorization. Now, there might have been an update the last couple of days, but that is still going through the process. It's been held up in committee, I believe, by one member of Congress. And so they're still working on getting that reauthorized. And that is, the act that authorizes all the funding that we get through the Area Agency on Aging. There are also some federal grant making changes that are coming down. There were several proposed changes on how federal agencies would share out grants and the reporting. And there was a you could share your comments. I think that closed last week. I just wanted to share there were over 260,000 comments on those proposed changes, which would have some pretty drastic changes on how federal agencies are able to share those out and sort of changing who has more hand in terms of like political appointees, the president versus civil servants in Congress. And so it's an interesting thing to see play out. They highlighted that for us. I'm going to jump over to staffing updates. And we have a few members of the Aging and Disability Resource Center, also known as the ADRC online. Thank you to them for joining. We are recruiting for 2 positions. The team has done a great job. We are nearing, I think we potentially have an offer out for one of the roles, which is the clinician role, the HS2 we call it. And then the HRC, we are moving forward with interviews. So once we have those 2 positions filled, we will be staffed. So we're really excited about that. One other update, those in the executive committee heard this last week. We've had a wonderful intern, social work graduate intern, Maimuna. Thank you for always bringing in those great interns. Catherine, she's been supporting several of the AAA programs, including our food and nutrition, our senior farmers market, Meals on Wheels. But she's also had a chance to interface and support the Commission on Aging. And so she's just been incredible. She will be done. I think her last week is the first week of August. We're also again happy to report, thank you, Maimuna. We'll have a new graduate social work intern coming on at the end of August. Her name is Lisa. And she actually works, which county is it? She actually works on Meals on Wheels. Montgomery County's Meals on Wheels. So she will be supporting. She'll kind of slot into what Catherine was doing and be supporting our nutrition programs, including Meals on Wheels as well. So we're really excited to get her and have her start at the end of the month. And I think those are all staffing updates I have for AAA and ADRC. The big one, I just wanted to, y'all have a day, and I saw some email chatter from a few folks. The area plan and budget. So I presented on this last meeting, last month in June. This is your last day. So tomorrow we'll pull down. Tomorrow will be the last day, actually. So you have 2 days, including today, or a day and a half. So for the 2027 area plan and budget, which would actually starts the federal fiscal year, and that will be October 1 of this year, 2026, through September 30th of next year. We received our allocations, everything from DARS. If you have an opportunity, please take a look at that and provide any comment. We've already got several comments. We'll be pulling that down after tomorrow, and we'll be finalizing and approving that, sending that to the board for final approval so that we can move that forward and get it back to DARS and everything. But that's an important one. I included the presentation deck on the follow-up, and I also have included it in both of the reminder emails for this meeting. I will include it again in my follow-up just in case if you want to take a look at that, okay? And I want to see, I have a couple programming updates that I wanted to share with you. Actually, sorry, one other outreach one. So the 2026 Arlington County Fair is on August 12th through the 16th. Fun times, exciting times. When I started last year, that was literally the first thing I did. I got to jump out there and see everybody and see everything that's going on with Arlington County. It was a lot of fun. There have been a few changes in how the county manager's office wanted to manage this year. And so we have reduced down the number of tables. So instead of DHS having multiple tables with all the different services, there's going to be one DHS table focused with primarily staffing that because they're knowledgeable about the programs. And so we just wanted to make sure to thank and acknowledge all of our commissioners throughout the years who have always done an incredible job of supporting and volunteering. We appreciate you all. We're going to look into next year getting a specialized table maybe for ADSD to see if we can do that again. It's just complicated. I also want to recognize Wendy, Arlington Neighborhood Village, who, how many years in a row have you all been recognized? Maybe is what is the award that you've gotten a couple of different times?
Nonprofit finalist.
That's right,
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's great work. And they will be there. They will have a table.
So it's one of those, it's great to be nominated even if you don't win. It's like the Academy Awards.
Make sure y'all get recognized. And as you can see, Wendy is always with us and they are a great partner. Just a couple other quick updates, William, and then I will stop. Okay, so Senior Farmers Market, right? Farmers Market, we love this program. It is a great program. So I've said the last couple of meetings, funding, unfortunately, due to CARES Act and a few different pandemic era funding sources have dried up. That program was cut in half. We have now filled all of our spots. It's a very popular program. We have an interest list, so we're tracking for folks who continue to apply. We do think that there will be additional funds coming from USDA through DARS. As soon as we get those, we'll start putting more folks on, or we'll start activating more individuals. But I just wanted to give you all that update. I wanted to also update, through a lot of Natasha, I see her online, a few others in our budget team have done some budget gymnastics, as our former colleague Jen used to say. Our Meals on Wheels program has not been changed. We have not set any caps or anything like that. We're really excited. We continue to move forward. We are keeping a very close eye on that. So kudos to the team for making that happen. And we're really excited the partnership with Meals on Wheels of Arlington as well to partner with us to make sure that we're able to continue moving forward without any cuts to that program. The last update that I have, actually, that's it.
All right, thank you, Dustin. Imuna.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. It's
Morning.
good to see you all in person and online. Good to see you. All right. So Rachel is on some much needed leave, and she is sending her regards. So I just have a few updates. One, I want to recognize this transportation committee, Tanya Graham and Commissioner Peggy Jones. I'm just so amazed at the progress you've made, and it's so tangible, and what you took from the feedback with the Community Engagement Forum and how you cross-referenced it. You have a strategic plan, an action plan, you're rolling it out, it's implemented, and you're building from Catalina's work. I am just so impressed. Thank you. Thank you for all the hours, all the volunteers and time. And it will pay off. It's definitely going to fulfill a great gap, as you all know. So thank you. Thank you. And to the pleasure, and I think Kate is still online with us, Kate Kramer. I had the pleasure to meet Rachel Berzon, and Kate helped me out. She is the new physician assistant for the Arlington Fire Department. And she will be conducting outreach, and that will involve our older adults and our vulnerable populations. And she has a passion for older adults. And so with her role, she'll be working very closely with us. And the idea is to be able to do wellness checks on some of our vulnerable populations that we know are isolated, living alone, and have a crisis. And so the idea is to reduce the reliance upon calling 911 and engaging them proactively, the individuals early on, and making sure that she can perform some critical medical needs in their home as a physician's assistant. Kate, if you don't mind, did I miss anything on Rachel's role? You're still there? All right. Well, we're excited to work very closely. We've had a long-standing relationship already with Arlington Fire Department, so this deepens our collaboration. We have an additional source outside of Kate that will be vital to helping our older adults who are in crisis, a lot of times through Adult Protective Services that we find them living alone in a crisis situation. So
What's the person's name again?
Rachel Berzon, Berzon. Zon. Yes, Kasha, have you met her? Yes. Okay. I also just want to have two more announcements. So Dustin and I, we received an invitation from our friends at the Community Planning and Housing Division, CPHD, where Jim Baker is now. And we met with them recently. Exciting news. They applied for funding from the Virginia Housing and the COG to support a ULI Technical Assistance Panel. The ULI Technical Assistance Panel provides expert multidisciplinary advice to public agencies and nonprofit organizations facing complex land use and real estate issues in the Washington metropolitan area. So they received the grant and they are specifically looking at our population, seniors and accessing affordable housing. So the idea is they know that there's an urgent need for more housing and finding innovative ways to do things. So you might recall back in 2019 to 2023, the zoning ordinance was amended to expand to multi-use, right? So you know about that through the housing committee. But the purpose of receiving these grants are to explore strategies to expand and support affordable senior housing in Arlington through partnerships, policy recommendations, and regional collaboration. The panel will examine housing challenges facing older adults and identify actionable recommendations for local government. So this is exciting. We definitely want our housing committee to be at the forefront of working with our CPHD to look at this project. And they're looking to have some upcoming activities. They're going to roll this out in the fall, so more information to come, but they're really looking at it from a stakeholder engagement. And some of the deliverables are, one, finding recommendations, presenting to the county manager's office on the outputs from the panel and what you inform them. So we're imagining that the committee can be at the forefront of providing the input on senior housing and accessibility. Once that panel has that, they'll then present it to the county manager's office, as I mentioned. They'll provide a written report. So that will also be an opportunity to put out to elected officials. And hopefully it will give the opportunity for recommendations around supporting development of affordable housing, strengthening partnerships, addressing barriers for older adults, and identifying policy and program opportunities. So that is very exciting.
Yes.
So the point of contact is Richard Tucker. And Richard Tucker is in CPHD, Community Planning and Housing Development, and he is the housing coordinator.
Should I email him or do
Yes.
you want to do an e-introduction?
I will do an e-introduction.
Thank you.
When they're focused on housing, how far does that extend into supportive housing and residential care? Or is it just independent living?
It is independent senior housing, but we do know that the individuals who live there have nursing home and assisted living level of needs. But
Right.
because of the wraparound services that we provide, they're able to stay in places like the Carlin, Hunters Park, Woodland Hill, like. So very exciting, more to come. And I think, doing a presentation is also an option for the committee. Finally, so the AAA has been doing some outreach to Culpeper Garden. You will know that June 30th, the contract ended between the assisted living. The assisted living is now closed. And those individuals, I think about 13, are with the independent living side receiving services. But there has been a need to look at the nutrition because that contract, that subsidy that we provided also ended for those individuals, 30 or so, that receive subsidized nutrition on site. So Dustin provide the
Yeah,
details of that
yeah.
outreach?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we did a check-in with all Meals on Wheels participants, including our colleagues that are folks that were at Culpeper Garden and are still there, to see what their needs were. We've been working, and I think we have a couple colleagues from Culpeper Garden on the call today. Thank you to them for joining. We've also partnered with them and took out several emergency meals to fulfill. If anybody needs food or, you know, they're struggling, they have a quantity of meals that they can pull from. And so that was a great partnership. We got a lot of meals last year, if you all remember, we were able to order, and we've used a lot of those in the office, but a lot of those were available so that we could share with whoever regarded. So we reached out to them, worked with them, we worked with the staff, and now we're able to provide those meals for folks who need that as they slowly transition and see what that looks like. And maybe some of them will need the Meals on Wheels or other programs, but we don't know if that's the case or not. So sort of a bridge.
Do we have any questions for Dustin and Mylan? All right, anything online?
Thank you also very much.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna, had a chance to be on a ULI TAP, in Prince George's County. So one of my many interesting activities, or maybe not so interesting, but, but they will, ULI is, professional organization of people involved in real estate. So they'll recruit people to come on to a TAP, a technical assistance program. And so the county will give a background presentation with all the research on older adults and affordability, et cetera. And then they will also, so the TAP will come to a meeting like this, and they'll have, like you said, stakeholders. So it could be from the committee, could be from the housing, and they'll interview you. And then I think that goes over the first day, and the second day they'll do a presentation, et cetera. So it's a great program. Yes, but be prepared to, do the legwork so that you can provide the best input to them. Because, the product will be just depending on the quality of the input. So that's, I think that's great. All right, so next is the chair's report and executive committee. And I know we have the elections coming up for the chair and vice chair, commissioner recruitment updates, party commissioner recognitions, including for Commissioners Bouchard and Chirawape, and legislative updates. So if I don't do this now, I'm not going to be able to do it. So this is my thank you to everyone. So I want to thank you all for everything that you have done. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be a part of this commission for 6 years and chair for the last 3. During that time, you refreshed the age-friendly plan and set new challenging goals and took actions that you found to be exciting. You conducted outreach to older adults in Arlington, like how the transportation committee did. You went out, visited the social 60 plus cafes and 4 independent residences, met over 100 individuals, collected responses in Spanish, Vietnamese, Korean, Russian, Farsi, Amharic, Mandarin, Arabic. And I speak a little Spanish, that's about it. Listened to their transportation needs and concerns, then followed up with advocacy. So conducting outreach isn't easy. It doesn't come naturally, but you did it. And I encourage you to do more of it. Okay. And you advocated for older adults, like the long-term care residences committee did, to promote the small household model of nursing homes and extended care, which produce better health outcomes, as well as advocating for community advisory councils at nursing homes so that the community and management can work together to promote wellness and transparency, as well as to share community services. And also, like the housing committee did with Melwood, to promote affordable housing for older adults and individuals with disabilities, and more with the ULI TAP coming. You also focused on older adults with the greatest social and economic needs, like our health and wellness committee did, connecting with churches in Green Valley to provide dementia education and nutrition information, as well as presenting classes in Spanish on aging at 5 community organizations. And also, like our Aging Equity Committee did, providing seminars on protecting older adults from fraud and scams, as well as speaking up for the LGBTQ plus community. You collaborated with partners, like with A&V. We really, and also with Navaja, and I'm not going to go into too many because I'm going to forget them. And also with NVEN. We passed laws and engaged with legislators, and through many other energetic and passionate individuals and groups that are here in person and online. But always, I want to say our greatest supporters have been our DHS partners and leaders, including Dustin, Helen, his predecessor, Rachel, Maimuna, Deborah, Anita. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your care and contribution, your time and dedication. Our world is changing. Thank you for staying involved, and it has been an honor. So. It's a pleasure, and you don't block my emails. Okay. Next item on our agenda is elections, and we have our nominees for chair and vice chair, Kathy and Karen. And I think that's it, right?
Just the last opportunity to be outside.
Yeah, is there, Dustin's forcing me to say this. Is there any other nominations? Okay.
Anyone online?
All right. So we'll start with the chair. For Kathy, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right. For vice chair, for Karen, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? I don't hear any. Congratulations, Kathy and Karen.
Thank you very much. Look forward to the next year ahead and building on the amazing work that William has started. Look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you both so much. Be careful what you're getting into. No, I think you both know what you're getting into. So thank you. Thank you
Yes,
for your,
we do.
yes, thank you
Well,
for your.
you set the stage, William. Yes. Look forward to building on your great success. And
yes, and thank you for stepping up. Really appreciate it. Recruitment updates. I know we have Lisa from that Kasha recruited, and also Susan, who submitted her application. They're both on. Great, thank you both for stepping up as well. So Dustin is reaching out. Is that right? Any updates on that?
Yeah, we have scheduled meet and greets, and then I will pass them on to you. And then we also have a couple in the pipeline with.
You'll pass them on to Kathy and Karen.
Kathy and Karen. Thank you for that correction.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
the pending applicants, have they been approved by the county board?
Dustin.
Yeah, so I was in here. We're still in the holding process. They're moving forward with two of them. And they made their way around with the commission, with me and with Rachel and I. So we're just waiting for the board.
So my understanding is that they're going to approve them tomorrow at the recess meeting.
That will be
All right, good intel. So
it's Travis and Patrick we're referring to, by the way.
So excellent. Thank you for those updates, and please keep recruiting because 3 people are stepping up. All right, now, and speaking of which, we have our recognitions for Kate. I don't believe she's online. And Michael, so thank you both for your time and dedication. I'll start with Kate, and then so with Kasha, Kate and Kasha work well together. And as we said, you reached out to our community, out to Green Valley, out to older adults at the community centers, out to the Spanish language community, and did so much with VHC and other partners. So really, thank you, Kasha. And of course, Kate
took the lead for that.
Yes. So thank you both so much. And it's been tremendously helpful to older adults in Arlington. I'll open the floor to anyone else who wants to say anything. Start with Kasha.
It's just been great working with Kate under her leadership because I kind of just walked into it. And so she showed me the ropes, and I'll miss her as a co-chair.
Yes, well, I think that's right. So we all miss her and really appreciate all the hard work that she accomplished. And speaking of hard work, Michael, thank you so much. You were, critical to the success of the housing committee and in getting affordable housing done and generating a lot of innovative ideas. So we thank you so much. And I'll also give both you and your chair to have a chance to say nice things about you.
Thank you, Michael. Michael had lots of good ideas and impressively came up to speed on housing issues. Seemingly overnight, he absorbs knowledge at a vast speed, high speed. And was a good confidant and I personally can bounce ideas off of, so he will be missed. But I'm coming to visit.
Michael, any words from your side?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, Dustin, go ahead.
Both so I just wanted to say, I had a chance to see Kate at an outreach event on, I think it was Wednesday, and it was great to sort of close that loop. You know, Kate has been a wonderful partner with VHC and kind of keeping that close with the commission, and so we really appreciated her. She helped with recruitment afterwards, and she's always been a wonderful partner out in the field in health and wellness, so just really appreciated her. I also just wanted to recognize, Michael did a great job of recruiting commissioners. The commissioners here now that maybe stepping in some leadership roles that, Michael helped recruit. So just really always appreciated his positive personality. He reached out to me when I first started as well. And just thank you, Michael, for everything you've done.
All right, Michael.
Well, thank you, everybody. I'm moving overseas, so that's why this is a premature departure. So thank you all. So I'm moving to the Netherlands. So I've already reached out to some organizations there that are doing some really innovative programs to assist with aging in place especially. So I will stay in contact with everybody. You all have my email address and whatnot. So it is a goodbye physically, but I will obviously still be very, very connected to Arlington County and to all of you. So thank you very much.
All right.
In the Netherlands, now 3:00. So I expect you to be on.
Yes, maybe more than you think.
All right, and we have, next item is legislative updates.
Oh, Kathy has something she'd like to say. Sorry, Kathy.
Yeah, your hand up.
Just very quickly, I'd just like to, recognize also how, Kate was able to help the Health and Wellness Committee, connect to VHC, and we had some great meetings with them and some collaborative efforts. And I also wanted to mention that she's going to continue on the Health and Wellness Committee as a non-commissioner. So which will be really, really terrific to have her continued involvement. Thank you.
Excellent. Yes, that'd be great. All right. So Erica and Karen, legislative updates. Please go ahead.
Okay, so thanks, William. So I'll start and then Karen will pick up. It's a very busy time of the year for legislative activities. It seems like every part of the year is busy legislatively because it's a cycle. Tomorrow is the Northern Virginia Aging Network meeting, and that's the meeting at which NVAN adopts the specific wording for its 6 priority legislative items. Once that is done, we move on from there, and all 6 of the NVAN committees formed around those 6 recommendations are busy at work drafting background statements on those 6 priority recommendations and preparing for the October 9th legislative breakfast. If you don't have that on your calendar, please put it on now, save the date, because that is the best way to key into what is happening legislatively, and it's very well attended by legislators. This is also a busy time here in the county legislatively because the county is preparing its legislative platform, and the commission is submitting the 6 NVAN items. The county has a form that's actually very limited in wording, so that's kind of a challenge. And Karen and I are working on that now, and that is due August 1st. And so that's where those things stand. I'm going to turn to Karen now.
Karen, sorry, start right ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Erica. I wanted to add that we have been working closely with DAC, and I think Karen Adant was on the call, but she may have had to drop at 10:15. So we reached out to her. We're waiting to hear whether DAC has overlapping priorities that we can either share, endorse, highlight, along with our legislative priorities, which are primarily the NVAN platform. So I heard back from Karen last night, and she said their meeting is tonight, and she hopes to have information for us after that. I also wanted to highlight the opportunity for individuals to submit comments on legislative priorities to the county by July 31st. There's a link, and I think Dustin has sent that around before, but it will hopefully once again appear in the
Make sure we get it out.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, do we have any questions for Erica and Karen? All right, thank you both so much. Next committee and work group updates. We'll start with the housing committee. Audrey.
Okay. Following up on housing, I wanted to say a couple things. I want to highlight a couple things that are not just generally what we've been working on, but I am on the SPRC, the Special Projects
Site Plan Review
Committee. For the Kensington, which is a 103-bed assisted living building that's going to be right across the street from like the Randolph Bakery. You know where that is on Cherry Hill, Langston, Upton, and Randolph, I guess. That meeting is next week. The building I have some serious concerns about. Well, first of all, there's no affordable assisted living units, and we're going to try to push for that again. I know they're going to push back, but I think there are enough things that they're demanding from the county that we might be able to negotiate for something, like they want to take over half of Upton Street. It's a very small lot. It's a 7-story building. There's no pull-off for emergency vehicles, which tend to come to assisted living buildings all the time. So they're going to be pulling up onto either Cherry Hill Road or onto Langston Boulevard. So I think transportation is going to be a big issue here on the project. So I want to encourage chairs, particularly transportation and long-term care, I've lost both of them, Peggy and Charlie. There's an SPRC on the Kensington coming up next Monday. And although my interest in housing is the affordable units, I want input from you two about what I should be asking for in the SPRC. So there's no access for emergency vehicles, for example. There's a whole long list I have, but I'm happy to talk you through the slides or somehow get your input. Like it's just, there's not a lot of public transportation to the site. It's 103 plus all the aides and staff who need to get there. There's going to be some parking.
Audrey, I think Kate will have some insight too from the Arlington Fire Department, and she had her hand up. Kate?
Okay.
I have no insight. I would love to know if there is a fire department representative on this, or anybody from code enforcement, or is there someone from the county who's representing those interests? Because yeah, that's a huge concern, obviously. Not having emergency vehicle parking or anywhere for us to pull off. It's a major safety issue for my crews.
I went by the site again a couple days ago, and I was surprised at how small it was and how they want to impinge on things like Upton Street, which would make it even more difficult for fire equipment to make that turn. I don't know. I know the names of the people who are on there. I don't know who they represent because I just have the email list. I will send an email to the SPRC chair, and I will get your contact information from Dustin.
Yes.
Good point.
Thank you, Audrey.
I'm going to send it to you.
So I do want input, if I can, from you about anything you want me to be advocating for.
I've got the email in front of me on the SPIR, whatever. It's July 27th at 7:00.
Right. I'm not asking them to come, but to give me. You're welcome to come, but I have a seat at the table, which means that I can talk freely as opposed to my 2 minutes. So my next bit of advice to other committees. I have formed a regional committee of housing chairs. So that's Fairfax, Alexandria, Falls Church, Loudon, and Prince William. And we met for the first time last week, and it was incredibly powerful. They're all very different. They have very different priorities that we've been exchanging: housing plans, housing policies, housing, everything you can imagine, as well as some book recommendations. I would encourage you to think about that, because it's going to be, and it has already been, very helpful to meet with them, see how we can collaborate, what are the hot buttons in our region, but it's all of Northern Virginia. And I'm happy to give you some pointers. It was not easy to get to the right people in each of the counties, but worthwhile. So.
All right, did someone have a question for Audrey? Yes, Charlie, go ahead.
Are these chairs of the Commission on Aging Housing Committee? Or they
don't all have official commissions on aging. They're not all part of the AARP plan. They have something similar to that, but yes, they would, their counties housing chair. Some of them are actually the chair, they're just divided differently, but yes.
Great.
I heard at one point, Audrey, that as far as transportation was concerned, that Fairfax, Prince William County, and Arlington and whoever is supposed to be getting together, and which I was going to follow up on, because each one, they were thinking about combining this bus system. I don't know if anyone has heard about this.
Combine, take it apart. I mean, it's a cycle.
And of course, what is so interesting is that Fairfax does not charge. ArcBus charges their seniors.
Okay.
Fairfax do not charge, nor does Montgomery County charge. I mean, there's no charge.
Okay.
So
I would suggest that you try to get the other chairs together and get a plan.
Exactly. So yes, thank you for the outreach. And if I might suggest another venue, it's NVAN. All the commissions on aging are in NVAN.
Yeah.
And at a minimum, you can get contact information for your counterpart.
Absolutely.
Yes, Roland.
Thank you. I just want to add that Alexandria does not charge
Okay.
for its bus system.
Yes.
And also the state, I think the state approved a study on whether or not, there should be a regional, whether or not the local bus
So
system
that's
should
what
be a regional.
driving this.
So that's the one that's causing a lot of concern.
Exactly. The General Assembly has to, appropriate funds to give to WMATA, because it's a 3-state, DC, Virginia, and Maryland. And so it's a lot of money, and having, each city here having its own system, so the state wants to study it, so, yeah.
Okay.
So, but yes, outreach, please go ahead and do that, and that'd be great. And, yeah. All right, next, health and wellness, Kasia.
Yeah, so the committee has not met since the last monthly meeting, but we're meeting this Thursday. And we're focusing on reducing social isolation and loneliness in the senior adults. So one of the things we're doing is we're having Wise Connect come back, because they have a new update to their resources. They implemented transportation assistance. So we're trying to find out more information about that. So that'll be on Thursday. And then I have reached out to the affordable housing providers. True Ground responded, and they're interested in sitting down and kind of collaborate on how we can decrease the social isolation. They recognize it is an issue with individuals that are in their housing programs. So we're working on a date that works for both of us. And then the other thing, Michael Schuster reached out to me just to make sure that we're not reinventing any efforts towards coordination of care among the healthcare systems and community. And so we shared what we have designed, which was the one-page flyer that's going to be included in the VHC Senior Resource Guide when that gets printed next. And that's just a really a very comprehensive reference sheet for individuals just to take a look at when, if they're family members or the senior is, hospitalized, what are some things that they need to think about before they are discharged so that they don't run into obstacles once they're home.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any question for Kasha? And I see that, I heard that Kate is gonna be staying on the committee, so is she gonna be the vice chair, co-chair? I don't know. Okay. Aging equity, Roland and Carol.
Since if you look at minutes from the last meeting, it details pretty much the activities that we had going on for the month of June. But the meeting that we had was on June 15th. And a lot of the activities that we had occurred pretty much after the last meeting of the commission as a whole. But so I wanted to report to you on the success that we had with those events. At first, I wanted to do a big thank you to Michelle Thomas, because the AI and fraud seminar that was conducted on June 21st was a big success. It was at Walter Reed. They had so many people that they end up going out and getting chairs and bringing chairs in. So I think that's a good sign. And also a good sign was the fact that people had questions and the fact that poor Michelle had to end it at a certain time, but there were still people who had questions and stuff. So I think that shows to us that we are doing something where there is an interest on the part of people outside. So we're going to be doing more of those events. Also, I want to give a shout out to the 55 plus group, because we had 2 events last month dealing with 55, which were very, very successful. One was, I spoke before one of their meetings, and it was so good that they want me to come back. We're gonna record it so that they can pretty much put it in their on the 55 plus channel. Also, at Walter Reed, we had a bingo event that was surprisingly every table that they had set up for that, and Jennifer had it set up in a huge room there at Walter Reed, was full. So it said to us that there was an interest on the part of people in that, and at the end, I talked to Jennifer, and we're gonna be having more such events there at Walter Reed. It's just a matter of coming up with the event. One particular event that we're gonna be having starting in September is we're gonna have a movie night there. That's gonna be going out, and I think the next edition of the 55 plus is going to be a movie that's going to be a gay theme, and we have set up an apparatus so that we can get feedback from people as to the type of movie. Maybe we might end up scheduling talks before or after the movie. We're going to see what pretty much happens with that. But thank you to the people at 55, and thank you to Michelle for those for making the June month very successful so far as events are concerned. We have a meeting of the committee scheduled for July 28th. And Carol, did you want to say anything about the speaker that we have for that meeting?
Well, we're waiting for a final confirmation on who the exact speaker will be, but based upon a connection that I made outside of Arlington with the National Commission on Aging, they're very much interested in getting involved with us. They're located here in Crystal City. They have a lot of resources. They do a lot of programming, including on fraud and AI. And so we're very excited to have them come to our meeting. And this was also through a personal connection that I had when I found out my friend Daniel Davis, who I know Joan knows for many years, with his involvement as a disability activist and community activist, has been recently hired there as an associate director. So I'm very excited with doing some collaborative work with them. So thanks for that.
Do we have any questions for Roland and Carol? All right, thank you all for continuing to collaborate. Transportation, Peggy, any updates?
You've heard about our buddies program. I'm just going to add that the Arlington Transportation Future Advisory Group meeting, they met on June 30th. And they're asking for comment back from our commissioners on draft multimodal transportation plan. They just released it on June 13th. They asking, their final deadline is September the 17th. The county, what it has done, it has, they're gonna have a lot of pop-up opportunities so that you can go to the different events, and they're looking forward to your comments. They and if you like, it's a lot of these events, and I hate to keep saying this, but here it is: at Library Fest at Central Library on July 18th, Green Valley Farmers Market on Friday, July 24th, Westover Farmers Market Sunday, July 26th. National Night Out Tuesday, August 4th. Arlington Farmers Market, Sunday, August 9th. If you can get to one of those events, it would be very nice. Roslyn Live, August 13th, and County Fair. They're gonna have it there on August 15th. But if you can find it online, they would love to have our comments.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Peggy and Tanya?
And you're gonna send that out, or can you send out that information to Dustin to send out to us?
There's a link for the.
There is a link, and I will send it to you.
Thank you, Peggy.
Right, and Charlie for the long-term care residents.
Sure. The committee met the 9th of July virtually. And we've been trying pretty successfully a meeting at different facilities. Although one of the challenges is the turnover of nursing home administrators. We have 3 freestanding nursing homes in Arlington, and since the springtime, all 3 homes have had administrator turnover. And so we've, had meetings at, say, Carlin Springs and the Regency. In fact, I'll tell you about the Regency in a second. And with their administrators, now they have new administrators. So it's really, we're starting all over again to develop a relationship, and we want to go back there with the meeting. On top of administrators turning over, the Regency was bought by a company called Vieira, which is a chain of nursing homes. And they took over in the last couple of weeks, actually, last month. And it was somewhat of a rocky turnover, because it was kind of like after midnight and one night, they stopped being the Regency, and we had heard from Kate in the fire department that there was some confusion about whether their computer systems were even working, and how they would be able to respond to emergencies. And nothing terrible came of that, but it pointed out that that the proposal we have for NVAN, switching to another topic, is really, I think, important. It is a proposal that pushes the idea of local engagement and transparency with nursing homes, giving local jurisdictions an opportunity to require a few simple things. One, to require that they give prior notice of a change of leadership, which would presumably mean the administrator, director of nursing, director of social services. And although we didn't say change of ownership, I think we're going to try to push for that in the language, because the example with the Regency, which is now called the Admiral.
Is this the one in Pentagon City that we?
Yes. That seems like an odd name for a nursing home, but anyway. That it would require that prior notice. It would require enable a jurisdiction to require periodic meetings with a designated agency, just to find out what's the status of things, how things are going. It's kind of what we do right now with our nursing home liaison, but it would more institutionalize it. And it would also, to the extent that community advisory councils are organized, it would require the nursing home to cooperate with them and support them. It doesn't require the nursing home to create one, but to collaborate. So we're hopeful that we can make headway on that. It doesn't have any budget impact, so that shouldn't be a barrier for legislators. Related to this, we have a priority in our age-friendly plan to promote the small household model, as opposed to the institutional model that characterizes our nursing homes today. And with another hat that I wear with the coalition called Moving Forward Coalition, we did a study which is just been accepted for publication with Health Affairs Scholar. And we had a barrier of Health Affairs Scholar is Health Affairs is a journal that is very well known in the health sectors, but they have a open access online version, which is great because to read a Health Affairs article, you have to subscribe to it. But Health Affairs Scholar is open access. But we learned after they accepted it that there was a fee for the open access ability, extremely high fee. But we also learned subsequently that we could request a waiver of the fee, which we did, and they agreed to waive it. So most of the time they're dealing with professors of universities, you know, the universities usually cover those kinds of things. My co-author and I, neither of us are connected with the university anymore, both previously were. But so the timing of this is good because this past legislative session, the General Assembly passed bills to require the Joint Commission on Healthcare to do a couple of studies, one on nursing home quality and another one to revisit the issues on nursing home workforce. And the small household model, the research on it shows it has an impact on both of those things in a very good way. So we want to get this before that study commission, which has until December of 2027 to submit its report. So I have reached out to request meetings with interestingly, the chair of the Joint Commission is Barbara Favola, and the vice chair is Patrick Coe, are two of the legislators. So we want to be able to talk with them, and I've also reached out to the staff director of that committee. I haven't gotten a response yet, but I've done that very recently. So we hope that produces something. And that's really about it.
Thank you, Charlie. Do we have any questions for Charlie?
I just have one tangential question. I'm reading a lot in the assisted living world that venture capital is buying assisted living, sucking out the resources and then selling again, leaving the assisted living poorer and care quality going down. Do you know if the Admiral is what kind of company they bought? The now Admiral?
It is a proprietary company, yes, but it is not. The difficult thing with these things is that some of their money could be coming from private equity, but they are a nursing home corporate chain, and that's all I know about them so far. I mean, I've read that of the homes they operate, and it's not a huge chain. I think I forget the number of homes it has. But that's an issue that's plagued nursing homes for quite a while, and of course now plaguing assisted living. You know, they perceive this kind of care as a business for making money, and that's not the kind of attitude that it deserves.
Okay, thanks. Sierra is the same one that owns the facility in Falls Church on Paladin Street.
I think so. Yeah.
It is. Do we have any other questions for Charlie? All right, thank you, Charlie. Also, Claudia, thank you so much for all your excellent support. We appreciate it, and just wanted to, I've been thanking people because it's going to be my last meeting as chair, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Claudia.
Yeah, great seeing you today. All right, liaison updates. Kathy, do you want to address anything on age friendly?
No new updates. Nope.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Michael, sure. Michael, I thought I saw, there you are. Michael, do you have any updates from Alexandria?
No, we're in recess in July.
Okay, thank you for everything.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
I'll
hear
put it
you.
in the chat. We're in recess and no update. No update.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Thanks for being a good colleague, and see you at NVAN tomorrow. Is Jennifer here from 55 plus or anyone else here from 55 plus?
I didn't see anyone.
Okay. Wendy, A and B, any
Yeah, hi, guys. It's good to be in person, as we all feel. Just two little updates, little and big, actually. One of the successes we had legislatively, was the state legislature and the governor approved an additional $400,000 to continue to grow villages across the state of Virginia, which is just really related to the phenomenal advocacy work of Carol Paquette and Mary Jane Atwater and Anita Light from Fairfax. So there was an initial $400,000 for a year. That was wonderful. And they fought hard to get that repeated in the second year. So what's that money doing? 12 villages across Virginia got some grants, $10,000 each, which was lovely for all of us. But they're also really at the point of identifying 5 potential new villages across the state, which is really phenomenal in a short period of time. Those 5 villages, they're paying for training to get them mentors and advocates and education on how to start a village, run it successfully, et cetera. So we hope that we'll be able to continue that in the coming year. And it was a lot of advocacy work, a lot of work with NBAN and others to bring that about. So congratulations to Carol and Mary Jane and Anita. Secondly, many of you should have received either in the mail or online our impact report for 2025. Just want to take a minute to take a look at that, see what we're accomplishing. As I reported before, we've got about 500 members we're supporting now. Half of those are low-income members, which is a real sort of move forward of the model for villages. So we're really proud of that here in Arlington. Always, we need more volunteers who are drivers. Many people around this table know that because they're drivers for us. We have some phenomenal drivers. Nancy White from the Free Clinic is a driver for us. She loves signing up at the beginning of the week for 2 or 3 rides that she can provide. We also have more complicated rides that we're providing. People who are going to dialysis multi-times a week for multi-hour appointments. And they're in a wheelchair and have other needs. So it's not taking, when we first started, I think 10 years ago, it was the simple things of life. And all those simple things have become way more complicated. So we're happy to think about working with the Ride Buddy program so that perhaps some people who we have that we're supporting in wheelchairs can become more comfortable using Metro Access. So I'm really excited about how we can partner with that. So thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Wendy. Exciting news, that additional money. Is there a website that lists all the villages in Virginia and the 5 new ones?
Yes, the 5 new ones might not be on it yet, but the WAVE Villages, WAVE villages.org, and that stands for Washington Area Village Exchange. So it's our 3 jurisdictions, DC, Maryland, Virginia. You can find a list of all the villages in Virginia on that site.
And are the 5 new ones in Northern Virginia?
No,
Central?
they're throughout the state. And that was important because if we're going to get support from the legislature, as much as we'd love to pay attention only to Northern Virginia, it was really a matter of, the Hamptons and Richmond and elsewhere in terms of setting them up.
Excellent. Any questions for Wendy? All right, thank you, Wendy. Let's see. Do we have any other liaison? Anything online? No. Okay. All right, we are approaching that almost the end here. Any other old business? Joan, I know you.
No, I don't have anything. Peggy covered the Transportation Commission for me. I was on vacation.
Okay, welcome back.
I missed you.
Do we have any new business? All right, any announcements? Any other announcements? Yes, Dustin.
William, we need to take a moment to recognize you for your leadership. We just wanted to take a moment to thank you for everything that you've done over the last 3 years as our chair. I just want to share a few words and we'll open it up for others to share as well if they'd like. That's okay with you, sir?
Yes. Is this a roast or?
I don't know if you all know, but William and I worked at Peace Corps headquarters together for a couple of years. We didn't know each other back then, but it was easy for me to step into this role, knowing that there was a family connection there. Those of us who have done Peace Corps sort of have that familiarity. So it was great to know that. I was chatting with Michael after we were doing his exit interview from the commission, and he reminded me, you know, one of the things that William was also able to do, and he didn't necessarily talk about this, but sort of getting the commission organized in terms of like those accomplishments and those goals. Like every time, I remember every meeting, you always go back to the executive committee meetings. Those are a big deal. Those really did help. Those really helped me stay organized as well. And so, you know, Michael really recognized that as well as one of the things that you've done. So really just want to thank you for keeping it sort of, you know, the organized, because we all have different goals and we all have different things that we're working on. And we have a powerful commission on aging with a lot of different perspectives. And so that's not an easy thing to do. William, thank you for that. Thank you. I also just want to recognize, you know, William is also lives a robust, I don't want to call it retirement life, but travel life. There's a lot of different things that he's out there doing, and he's always makes time, whether he's traveling, to jump on a call, to give you a call, to be in the meeting, no matter where he's at. You know, I think he's joined a couple meetings right after a run. That's to advocate and do different things. Recruitment. You know, William always does a great job of checking in where we at with recruitment, understanding that, you know, that is the lifeblood of the commission, and I really just appreciate that from him. It's always been very helpful. He always reminds me, you know, even during meetings, he'll send me text messages. Sometimes I won't be looking at my phone, and I always appreciate that he's doing that. And I think just the last thing I want to share, then I want to turn over to my Moon to share a couple of things, is early on, I think maybe this was September, October of last year, we did went out to Meals on Wheels of Arlington. I don't know if you all know, but William was a volunteer with them for quite some time. He wasn't as vocal about it, but he was out there. We had Congress member Don Byer there. And so at the last minute, we're like, William, you've got to advocate on behalf of the county and talk about Meals on Wheels and da, 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 da. So we gave him some talking points and he just ran with it. And I think that really epitomized, you know, all the different opportunities that William has had to advocate, you know, and Kathy has been his partner as well on behalf of the in-van priorities, the V4A priorities, you know, just jumping in there, you know, the county board, you know, William. So I just, you know, that for me is really what I really, you know, for the Commission on Aging, that's what we do. And you've always been a great leader in that space. So William, thank you so much for everything you've done to make my year much easier and everything you've done over the last 3 years and your 6 years on the commission. Thank you, Dustin. You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dustin. William, you have been just the epitome of presence. As Dustin mentioned, I can remember anytime there has been a letter that the commission has weighed in on, you have made sure that, you know, the letter was in alignment, right, with even the organization, the AAA, the mission, vision, and values. You are just a steward of the county and the community, and through your recruitment efforts, you always kept a pulse and made sure that there was representation. The age-friendly, definitely a presence, the community engagement forum, making sure that, you know, the community knows what this commission has stood for and what you have achieved and what you have accomplished. The budget hearings, making sure that you let the county board know what matters most, what the commission is advocating for fiercely. In there, the long-term care, you've been a part of it. I think that's a passion of yours. In terms of long-term care, it might be a personal passion, but I've appreciated your representation with Charlie and just, you know, making sure that everyone that is a chair of the subcommittees have a North Star. You supported that. Your voice when it came time for, I'm looking at all of the emails from William Way. 2023. And again, communication, responsiveness, we always knew where you stood, what you tracked, and that leadership is so vital. And I think that you have really helped to build that next generation of leaders that are coming, you know, Kathy as vice chair, Karen. And so we thank you across our Department of Human Services, Anita, Deborah, myself, Rachel, and Dustin. And we hope that you continue to live your best life, a full life with your family, and still advocating fiercely for older adults here in Arlington.
Thank you, Maimuna. And we couldn't have asked for better partners than yourself, Rachel, and Dustin. And so, yeah, much appreciated. And I just ask everyone to stay focused on your goals. Exactly. So thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure.
Does anybody else have anything they want to share?
Yeah.
Please.
I would just like to say thank you. You've been an individual that someone felt at ease working with. You made that person, I'm talking about myself, feel important when you probably don't even realize that. But you make people feel like they are very, very much important and an asset and not a liability. You walked with me around Langston. How many people, commissioners, will walk with an individual around Langston looking at sidewalks? All I can say is just thank you for believing in me, trusting me. I would not have done it without you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
It means a lot, so thank you very much.
Yeah, William, I've always been at awe of how you can focus on so many things simultaneously. I've many things I've drafted, I've sent to William. I said, if you have any comments, you know, within 24 hours, I get comments back, and they're very thoughtful comments and productive. So, you know, awesome.
Thank you all thank you, Charlie, for your hard work. Thank you all for your hard work. Really appreciate it. And I hope to keep staying involved. So
We have Kathy online as well.
Hey, Kathy.
Hey, thank you, William, so much for your tremendous leadership over the past 3 years as commission chair. I have learned so much from you. I can't thank you enough, and I really hope to continue, in your footsteps, including leading, I think, very efficient meetings. We get so much done in 2 hours. It's really incredible, and I think continuing to support. You have a very collaborative spirit, I think, both within the county and working with those throughout Northern Virginia. So I hope to continue both of those things and over the next year. So William, just thank you. And I also want to thank you for your friendship. I feel like we've gotten to know each other really well over the last few years. And I hope we'll continue to stay in touch beyond September when your last meeting takes place. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Yes, and my door's always open to everyone here. If I can be of assistance in any way, let me know.
Michael Schuster also says, thank you. He's enjoyed partnering with you and he'll see you tomorrow, didn't they?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. All right, everyone. So it's so the formal portion, unless there are any other announcements.
Oh, well, I just want to say William will be taking over as chair of the Parks and Rec Commission, right? So he's
That's right.
not done with the county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need more trees. Pardon, yes. Yeah, I'll be at the Kensington SPRC for the Park and Rec Commission. So thank you all so much. I'll make a motion to adjourn and any second. All right,
Michael.
So the formal meeting is adjourned. Thank you all so much for everything you've done.
Thank you, everybody.
See you next time. Michael? Oh, yeah. Pardon?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
All right, Denise, I have no idea. I don't know how you do it. God bless you. I am so sorry to hear about your loss.
Right, Camille.
Y- I know, if you know, I've forgotten. I didn't realize it.
Yeah,
You have your hands full. Bless you.
yeah, but then having a funeral anytime soon. And I don't know how I feel about that. That you know, I don't know. The one of the Cheryl is thinking about having it around her mother's birthday, which is in September. And I said, well, why are you waiting so late? And she said, oh, she doesn't want to inconvenience people, give them time to plan. But for me, I think funerals are, I don't know, they should be like close because
You're closing a window. I mean,
it's acknowledging the grief that the family's sharing.
yeah, this is her children that are making this decision?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I don't know how, I haven't really, I've been doing so much, I'm not really thought that much about it, because I really don't know what to say to them, if I'm going to give them any kind of advice about it or my thoughts on it.
Oh, are they open to it, you think?
Yeah, I think they would be.
Oh.
But they, but
this is the first parent that they had to bury?
Yeah, well, the father died, but they weren't involved in his funeral or anything.
Oh, okay.
But Camille and their dad had been divorced for decades.
Oh, okay.
And he had his family to do everything. And so I don't know. And they've been planning, doing a lot of planning. They've been going back and forth to Pleasant Valley, because I suggested, well, just have everything there, because this whole driving all over the world gets a little bad because of the traffic around here and the distance, that people have to drive. And so but Pleasant, that place, they don't have that kind of service. They just do the funeral.
She's not in Arlington.
Who?
The funeral is not going to be, Camille, she's local, oh, she lives somewhere else.
No, she used to be a member of Lomax.
No, I know.
She's local.
Oh, she's still local. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's still local. She came back from South Carolina and she's been living here for a while now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she lives in Lake Ridge.
Okay.
So anyway, but I just said, I was just thinking of logistically, it's just easier to have everything in one place, the service, the burial, and the repast. So people don't have to do all that driving around. But they don't have that kind of service at Pleasant Valley, which is where, Camille's already made arrangements. So, yeah. So I said, well, then Lomax. And so she said, okay, the Lomax. And so I was wondering, who should I call there?
Call the office and leave a message. I don't know if the secretary is in, but leave a message on the office number, and the secretary will get in contact with Reverend Nelson. Let me see. I can. That's what I'm thinking.
What's her name? Is it the same woman that's been there for like a long time?
Now it's Carolyn Blackman.
Oh.
The secretary that Reverend Nelson hired has been, I don't really know what's going on. She's been gone for about a month now. I don't know if she's on her way out or what, and I haven't heard any Black dispatch on it. But now Carolyn Blackman is a longtime member of the church, and she was the church secretary for a long time there. But it called it and leave a message on the church, and they will contact you, because I really I think that's the best way. to do it,
Okay.
they would check it and to get in contact with Reverend Nelson, because he's out of town now. He wasn't, he's out, and there's a conference the bishops are having, so he's not
Yeah.
here. But in terms of the protocol and making the arrangements, call and leave a message and they will get back to you.
Okay, I'll do that.
And I'll call one of the trustees and let them know. Because today is Monday. I don't know. I think the church secretary is there on Monday. I'm not really sure. I suspect.
Okay, during the week, she's not there. And I don't know.
I think that's Monday after Sunday, after the weekend. I think it starts on Tuesday.
That's right. That's what I remember. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm not ignoring you on Orinoco. I have a 2:00 appointment with my broker who has done all of this, and so I'll follow up with you. And I was trying to find out about the other house, and I haven't been able to pull it up yet. I just got off another meeting, but I'm working on it, and I will get back to you, let you know what I find out today. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Because it's not, I looked it up. So it's not listed on MLS.
Right.
Because there's on the sign, it says exclusives. So I went on their website and it's not even listed on the website. So I said, well, how are they going to sell it if they don't let it's not, information out there? But I did see where it sold in 2017 and they had the pictures, a lot of pictures of it on 2017. So I don't know if they updated the place or not, but that's how I saw it, but it's not listed.
Oh,
It's not listed on MLS.
okay. I'm looking at Redfin now. It totally renovated from top to bottom. Off the market. No, that's 2019.
2019?
Yeah, but no. This is an off market. This is an old listing.
Okay, so I think the pictures that I saw are from 2017. So.
Okay, well I just Googled it and the last thing that came up was 2019. So I'll be monitoring it to see if I can't. I may drive by there and and just call the agent and try to get some information and get back to you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, just give me a little time, okay?
Okay.
Okay, sure. Take care. Okay.
Hey, B, hold on one second.
Okay.
She's on the phone, B.
Oh, okay. No, don't worry about it. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm just really had a doctor's appointment. I got Judy on the other line. It's just, morning.
Life happens. Okay, I was just returning a call. Don't worry about it.
Did you call her before?
Yeah, I called on the line and I figured that. So no, this is no problem. Just tell her, give me a call when it's convenient.
She'll call you back. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hi, Brenda. This is Adrian, Denise's cousin.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm calling you because I'm meeting a friend of mine downtown on Thursday to go to some museums. And I want to see if it's okay for me to park my car. And,
Sure.
when me and Niecy park, in front of your house.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier to catch a lift.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.